beard and come back. Sorry, one time. Okay. I was also there in the Mumbai program, and I know how busy that street is. I don't believe you could have run and reached the auditorium. That was only to create a sensation. You said you ran and came and all. I don't. It's our judgment. In an email, or send button. You don't have to think. You don't have to feel. You can pass. Manmohan Singh pati comment adigino, Abdul Kalam pati comment adigino, Krishna, Jesus Christ pati comment adigino. Hanjin then comment adipan or send button. Or sound varum. Poichada avladha. Okay. Beyond that, there is nothing else to it. You look very good in a jeans and t-shirt. I got inspired. I started exercising. Okay. Now when I wore a jeans and t-shirt, he wanted to exercise. I thought, veru odamle vandu kaamichillama. Innu exercise pannuva. Okay. Okay. But there are emails. You look very sexy in today's mastermind. Sorry, I better look divine rather than looking sexy. Okay. But there are comments for that. There will be comments for that. Health is your favorite topic, is it? You have no other topic to discuss. Comments are there. No more comment. You don't smile when you hug people. You look much better when you smile. Start hugging people when you smile. You are not going to reach anywhere internationally because there is too much local language in your English. Is there. All comments are there. Every comment is there. Everything is there. Will be there. You can't keep responding to everything. When you have opened yourself up to public eyes, there will be public opinion. And that is their opinion. I'm not talking about whether it's good, right, whether it's good or bad. What about the whole thing? But definitely something concerned me. For every 10 people who are very judgmental about mastermind, which they are seeing through the webcast, I'm sure there are thousands of you who are growing through this, but you never write. This person also writes a mail to me, says, I was one of those who grew a lot with Alma Mater in the initial stages, but hurt that you have made Alma Mater so commercial, I have withdrawn myself from Alma Mater. Something like that. Exact words I don't remember. Okay. But something like that. So I will. But he never wrote to me during good times. He decided to become critical and he wrote. It seems in the last few masterminds I have used the word balls a few times. So there is a very big email. My dear Rajan, and you mean so much to me, my life is all this. But first time I thought I should write to you because it's very difficult for us to sit how you speak. You speak about father, mother making love, you speak about... But you never wrote when you went through all those good times, you went through all that growth, you grew out of that entire experience. The day you felt something was negative, you decided to write a boomerang. The day you felt something was negative, first let's take a learning. Wrong is continuing to make noise, and we continue to make noise about wrong. Good is not making noise, and we are not making noise about good. And this is really concerning me. I remember my father calling late in the night, 1:30, 2:30 in the night. He called the TNEB and said, power is not there. Within 10 minutes, the power came back. 20 minutes later, the phone rang. And my father picked up the call. We were about to sleep, and the phone came, and my father picked up the call. And the person on the other end said, current vanduchanga? Has the power returned? My father said yes. Immediately the man said, once in a way also call us and tell us the power has come back. We'll feel good about it. You are able to dial the number and say what is wrong, but you never think it's necessary to dial the number and say what is right. One day something will happen in a mastermind and one of you will get so upset about it and probably write a very critical letter to me and decide to leave Alma Mater. My concern is not that criticism that has come to me from you. My concern is The last 6 years when you grew out of every mastermind, you never thought you need to express yourself to me even once. You never thought you had to write a single letter ever saying that things are going right for me in life. I learned this from the masterminds. I grew out of this mastermind. This has happened to my mastermind. That has happened to mastermind. You never felt like referring to. And once when something went wrong, you decided to write an entire letter. I know somebody who has been doing Top Gear for 4 years. Never received a single piece of communication from that person. Not a single piece of communication. And last year I didn't give him a Top Gear seat. And he wrote such a big mail to me about, I am this, you have told me no, you think, such a big mail came. I wonder why for 4 years you never felt like expressing yourself. I'm not just responding to that one email. That email I read. I have not read everything that comes. In fact, if I read everything that comes, all of you alumnites will say, let's stop webcast. I don't think you deserve to be in public eyes. I don't think people who shouldn't even be judging you should be judging you. Let's stop the webcast. I'm not even sharing with you everything that comes there. But I understand. Irukum. 10 பேர் ரஜினிக்கு அந்த தலைவான் வாங்க 2 பேர் வந்துட்டு என்னத்துக்கு இப்படி இருக்கான் சொல்லுவாங்க. Okay. One person will go and see Mangata and come back and say Tala super style, and somebody else will watch Mangata and say there are only 3 things in the entire movie. This scene cigarette, next scene liquor, third scene murder. Again cigarette, again liquor, one more murder. கடைசியில் என்ன ஆயிடுச்சுன்னா cigarette packet gets over, bottle gets over, nobody else is left to murder, so movie ends. Okay. But for somebody else it will be style and somebody else it will be class. Depends on whether you are an Ajit fan or not. Okay. So there will be different opinions for different people. One of you who has seen Vendai Thandi Varuvaya in this movie, now you will say that Trisha looked very beautiful in that movie. She didn't look very beautiful in this movie. She looked very old. One of you is a die-hard Trisha fan. You will say, "Eppadi paathalume Trisha." There will be a lot of opinions about everybody else. Nothing can be done, okay, on this. So the point is not that. I'm collectively asking you, sitting in the mastermind, and everybody who's watching a webcast, I'm sure thousands of you must be growing through this entire experience. But you never think it's necessary to express yourself. But when there is hurt, when there is pain, when there is judgment, when there is complaint, we don't lose a single moment. I will grow. Say, I will grow out of your feedback. For me, it's just a decision. From now onwards, if this line of jokes, I can understand. An alumnite has been trained with all types of jokes, whatever. I don't have to even tell an alumnite a joke. They will laugh. Okay. I can understand the world outside is not at that stage. So you may not be completely ready. But I will withdraw. I said, okay, till you prepare the world, don't use. Somewhere after all, he is not holding anything. He is holding you at a level where he finds it difficult to listen to lower end jokes. Okay. And for me it's a decision. That part of communication will not come again and it will go on. I will say, how will you grow? If only wrong makes you feel you should express yourself and right does not make you feel you need to express yourself. If any time you will be called for a meeting, it is because you want to criticize somebody and never because you will call somebody for a meeting to appreciate somebody. If the school ever says, I want to see your parents tomorrow, it's only to complain about you. And the school will never say, I want to see your parents, to tell the parents, I think you should feel very proud of a son that you have. If good is not going to make noise, and about good, noise is not going to be made. If bad will continue to make noise, and about bad, noise will always be made, I don't think we are creating the right environment to develop a world. So in fact, vocally I'm saying, all of you who are there part of the webcast, if you really think you are growing through the webcast, I just want to know, are you really growing, or is it just about my hair and my beard and what dress I wear or in what tone I speak? Or I remember the time I spoke about somebody having died because of ill health. And because that sister is very close to me and that boy is no more, that mastermind, when I stood there and hugged all of you, every woman I hugged the girl. And every man I hugged the boy. And that day I couldn't control. I kept crying. I couldn't control. A little boy, I don't know how old is. Your eldest son, Vishal Surana, how old is he? And the 10-year-old boy who comes after masterminds to hug me, the 10-year-old boy came and asked, why you are crying? I've never seen you cry. So I don't know what to tell the child. So I just told the child, no, nobody is taking care of their health and it's really concerning me, and that's why I cried. He went around and again came back and said, if they don't take care of their health, they should cry. You should not cry. Okay. And a 10-year-old boy was able to sensitize. And yet somebody on the webcast said, I think you are going to launch a new program. That is why, to build those emotions, you kept on crying. And I think you had instructed the camera people to keep zooming and show that you are crying. See, if you have decided to throw yourself into public eyes, you cannot avoid any of these things. And I'm not somebody, I understand, from the work that we do, Alma Mater being a rich organization will make a lot of people jealous. My concern is not that me being rich is making a lot of people jealous. My concern is I'm going to become 1,000 times richer than this. How will they handle? That is my concern. Okay. Okay. See, I am coming in a BMW. And my BMW was not donated by anybody. Na sambachi na etun on the BMW. Okay. I drive. I know a lot of Swamijis also go in Mercedes-Benz and BMW, but that's donated by others. And I'm still repaying the loan. Okay, for the whole thing. And I'm on. BMW, they are not able to handle. I have already seen myself coming to Mastermind in a helicopter. Okay. You know, top of the world, so bottom of the world, top of the world. I'm telling the architect, wherever you're designing, whether it's a school or a helipad is required. Okay. It seems helicopter are quite expensive. Helipad is not. So I will get that done. I know proper Manigla. So I wonder how they will handle. But they can't handle. That's okay. I cannot help it. Okay. You will continue to be judged. You will continue to be opinionated. Yeah, I have to answer this question to myself. Am I growing rich transparently or secretly? No, how much I collect, everybody knows. How much I charge, everybody knows. What lifestyle I live, everybody knows. There's no hiding. And nowhere I come and claim I am a renunciate. No, very, very clear. In fact, Alma Mater is a commercial organization. Absolute commercial organization which has some social objectives. It has never claimed itself to be a social organization. That's a different thing. My point to you is this. Allow others to have the last say. In fact, all of them who have written to me, they have not told me, read it. This fellow said, read it, so I read it. Okay. And even there he has said, you read it, but you didn't answer it. Just allow the world to have the last say. This is not just about public criticism and an email from America that has come. What's your wife's name? Raj? Meena? Peena. So in a conversation that you and have, at some stage you have to decide, let her have the last say. Illana, it will never end. Somewhere at some stage, somebody judgmental is talking to you, trying to explain to them, see, actually, I have but somewhere there are some magical words by which you can give yourself peace in life. Yes. I understand. I agree. Anyone is enough. Everything changes. Okay. You're right. முடிஞ்சு போச்சு. And when emails come, there is one button at the top. It's called reply. There is another button which is in the side. It's called thrash. அப்படி பிடிச்சி அப்படியே எடுத்துன்னு போய் அப்படி விட்டா போறோம், படக்குன்னு உள்ள விழுந்துரும். And then you keep continuing. Will happen. Everything will happen. Everybody will come and everybody will react. I'm not saying there is no merit. See, from where he comes, he is right. From where he is coming, he is right. Didn't we learn here? Your judgment of me reveals a lot more about you than me, because your judgment is coming out of your background. Your judgment is not coming out of my background. You cannot handle somebody who uses the word spirituality being rich. Avladhan. That is your problem. It is not my problem. For me, everything is God, so Dabbu is also God. Saraswati is also God. Being rich is also God. For me, it doesn't look wrong. I will continue to do it. For you, it looks wrong. You have a choice to execute. And from your background, you are right. I really think when he said, I would write a check and give it to somebody instead of going home to collect old newspaper, from your background, you are right. You are not willing to physically exert yourself, but financially contribute to the cause. From the background I came from, I felt that I wanted to go through an ego annihilation process. I want to feel like a servant for one day. And just live my entire day like a servant and know how it feels. And there was so much peace at the end of the day. Somehow that 38,000 rupees looked like 38 lakhs at the end. In fact, standing there and newspaper being weighed. And I have not forgotten 1.4 tons till today, because I have never seen so much newspaper in one place. That check would have never given me that moment. From my background, it is different. It's not that you are wrong. But because you are right, that doesn't make me wrong. You are right from the background from which you come. I am right from the background from which I come. And we all have our backgrounds to come up from. So somewhere, let us say, he has gone through some experiences which, with a few Indians, that he has been exploited, or he has been let down, or he did not get the excellence. And it is immaturity. But his background is, Indians are like this. You can only feel with them. You can't get angry with him. That is his feeling. Some of you sitting here who have an any one community feeling, this feeling has been created in you. From your background, you think that community is bad. But you know in that community there are a lot of good people. Like people start saying, I don't have any bad friends. What do you mean by bad friends? None of my friends smoke or drink. Because somebody practices a habit that is bad, doesn't make the person bad. He is a good person practicing some wrong habits. He is still a good person. If you had related with a few people who have those habits, and you know them, then you will realize, I don't think I can make somebody look like a bad person just because he practices a habit which I don't endorse. He's still a good person with certain wrong habits. From his background, he is thinking they are bad people, because maybe in his family he was brought up always saying that you should not mingle with any bad people. People who smoke, who people drink, they're all bad people. He has been brought up. So in him that cluster is, anybody who has an habit is a bad person. From his background, he is judging you to be bad, but that doesn't make you bad. From the background in which you come, you are always told, don't cry and show you are weak. So for you, crying is a weakness. So from that background, when you see me cry, you will always say, you look so weak in that mastermind. But from the background I come from, tears have a very different meaning. That is why sometimes when I write to you or talk to some of you, express myself to you, I always tell you, I love your tears. I really love your tears. Because I know when you cry, it's because you have faith. When you cry because you have gratitude. When you cry because you have bhakti. When you cry because you felt touched. So the tears in you expresses a very deep positive emotion. Unlike what the world believes, tears always comes out because you're feeling something negative. From the background I come from, in some of you, when I see tears, I always tell you, I really like your tears. There are few of you where I love to see those tears in your eyes, because I know you no more cry for negative emotion. But there's a lot of positivity which you are feeling, with which you cry. If you have ever got an opportunity to experience tears of love in the eyes of Rajendra Mehta, it's worth a whole life to see those tears in his eyes. They communicate love which no word can ever communicate, and I love to see those tears. If you ever had an opportunity to experience tears in the eyes of Ramji because of the devotion that he feels for Krishna, when he utters that, and somehow his eyes will turn red and there will be tears. And I just love to see those tears. It means a lot to me. If you ever get Gopal to speak about alma mater, at some stage speaking about alma mater, he'll have tears in his eyes. The tears. Is it really possible for somebody to feel so passionate about any time love is discussed in a mastermind, at the end of the mastermind, somehow Kumar will never be able to hug. He'll go on standing there, having tears in the eyes. I really love those tears. Deepak Basani, when he's really happy, out of happiness, there will be these tears. And you know, if Deepak Basani is having tears, it's because he is happy. And when I see those tears of happiness in Deepak Basani, I feel it's worth an entire lifetime to watch those tears. Worth everything. And there are so many such tears, you really wish you get an opportunity to see, because it comes from a very different depth. After every Top Gear is over, immediately the next reporting on Top Gear, when that has to happen, when Jaya is trying to express what Top Gear means to her, there will be those tears in her eyes. Pavi, whenever she comes and speaks after Top Gear, Lata, whenever she comes and speaks after Top Gear, when they are expressing what Top Gear is to them, to see the tears in Lata's eyes when she talks about Top Gear, or to see the tears of connectivity when Pavi speaks about Top Gear, for the rest of my life I'll work in this direction just to experience those tears. It's worth everything. Now, from the background I come from, this statement itself, I don't expect the world to understand when I say, hey, I really love your tears. And they communicate something very, very different. When he says, I don't know why you feel so weak and cry. That little child so beautifully asked. They're not taking care of their health. They should cry. No, why you are crying? From the background from which he comes, your judgment of anything reveals a lot more about you than about me. In fact, you feel compassionate towards that judgment of people. It just reveals who they are. Allow them to have the last say. And there is so much of peace for you as a result. Just close your eyes and be with yourself. Do everything in life as if you're doing it for the first time. Do everything in life as if you're doing it for the last time. The strength of your doing is derived from the strength of your being. The strength of your doing is derived from the depth of your being. And to create the depth in the being, through introspection, I can correct my actions. By keeping myself in the right environment of thoughts, when I can change what goes into my mind, when I can get the direction of my intelligence right, and get my intellectual expressions right, and when I can train myself to experience deep positive emotions, to whatever I seek to recur in my life, I get my being right. Even God cannot give me beyond my beliefs. So if your life has to expand, your beliefs have to expand. It's a rare opportunity to be a human being and to subordinate your likes and dislikes to the purpose of your life. To live is to live every moment of life intensely and enthusiastically. You can never celebrate your uniqueness unless you choose to be a choice maker. Anything and everything in life becomes meaningful only with the adjective unconditional. Physically, God can happen in our life only once. But the spiritual presence can be carried for a lifetime by understanding the power of my doing is derived from the power of my non-doing. Nobody was blamed on September 11th, but everybody became responsible. A nation could do it. You can do it with your own life. My life is my responsibility. and no blaming is allowed. Actually, how will you live your life if in reality you have only one chance to be with God? How will you live your life? What will it mean to you? What will come out of it? What it is to be a blotting paper as a seeker? Let your internal change of making yourself ready for top gear begin already. Already. People say, if I had only known the end will be so beautiful, I would have enjoyed it from the beginning. The end is always beautiful. Start enjoying it from the beginning. Enjoy, always. Your judgment of me reveals a lot more about you than about me. Because your judgment is born out of your background, not out of my background. Allow the world to have its last say, and you retain your peace. Anytime in the context of your future when you're thinking, drop the if from your thought process. There is no if or but in futuristic thoughts. Only so. If bad alone make noise, and about bad alone if noise is made, what sort of a world are we building? Shouldn't good be making the noise? And shouldn't about good a lot of noise be made? How about living through 1 week when you're not going to miss a single opportunity to appreciate, single opportunity to express what you feel positive about, single opportunity to not only the good in you making noise, but about whatever good you see that you're going to make noise as a family, as an organization, as a nation, as a collective force. Understand there is great strength that comes out of solidarity. During moments of challenges, instead of mutually blaming each other, come together as one collective solid force and see what you can accomplish through it. United we stand, divided we fall. Loving you so much. Thank you.